Acacia, we believe in the power of giving back. Volunteering isn't just about helping others, it's an opportunity for us to grow as well, really connecting with those that we're working with and making a real difference out in the world, and a real part of what we want to do with our ESG agenda. So that's why a little while ago we introduced our opportunity for the team to have paid volunteer days. So we really encourage our team to take part of those because of the difference it can make to others' lives, but also their own and their development with Acacia. So today I wanted to share with you an inspiring story from one of our wonderful colleagues who's been here for quite a while now. I'll let Laura introduce herself, but Laura is volunteering with the RNID, raising awareness about hearing loss and deafness, and I really wanted to give the opportunity for Laura to share her journey in a much wider, to a much wider audience, and share the benefits she's experiencing from volunteering. So thank you for joining me, Laura. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the role that you do at Acacia, and maybe a little bit of your journey with Acacia?
Sure, yeah. So hi everyone. So I've been with Acacia for quite a number of years now. So I'm currently a curriculum improvement lead. So I've been in a couple of roles at Acacia over the years. So I started off as a health and social care tutor and then one of the curriculum quality leads. So I currently manage a team. So we're quite invested in making improvements within delivery team in terms of the education side. That could be curriculum development, but also in terms of culture. So I am on the culture committee as well, which takes up some of my time here at Acacia.
Lovely, thanks, Laura. So, in addition, you decided a little while ago to take the opportunity to go and volunteer. So, would you tell us a bit about your role as a community volunteer for RNID and what made you get involved with that?
Yeah, sure. So my role as a community volunteer with RNID involves giving talks to different organisations and groups. Generally, we're looking to create an awareness about hearing loss, deafness and tinnitus. These talks can be online or potentially in our own local area, so in person. Some of the groups that we give talks to may not know an awful lot about hearing loss and deafness. Some already have that kind of existing understanding of it. I've been volunteering with RNID for around about a year now. We can source our own talks, but we can also offer to do the talks that come through. It's quite nice, I think, with volunteering because there's no expectations. So if you've not got the time in that particular week or that particular month, you can decline and just kind of offer to pick up the next one. So it's quite easy to slot that in around other commitments. And I think RNID in particular, everyone that I've come into contact with genuinely wants to make a difference. So it's really nice to be a part of that. In terms of what inspired me to get involved with this particular cause. So I do have my own personal experience. So I wear hearing aids, so I've got moderate hearing loss. And I wish that I would have known about RNID when I was first diagnosed with hearing loss. I really struggled at the time. I was in my early 20s and I kind of went to the appointment thinking that I would be coming away with perhaps having my ears syringed. I've just got earwax blockage, but that wasn't the case. I was told that I had to have hearing aids and I just put them in a drawer for probably 10 years and didn't think about it for quite a while. I was doing some work with Acacia around a different charity, so RNIB, and that's when I came across RNID and I just started looking more into them, the work that they do, and wanted to be a part of that. So that's pretty much why I chose RNID for my volunteer work.
Amazing. Yeah, and I mean, it makes me think, you know, when you said about everybody being really invested and everybody just wants to make a difference. So lots of synergies between RNID and Acacia and you giving back into something that's really quite personal. Lovely, thank you. So you told me recently about a talk that you've given to a care provider, but you know, I know you've done multiple ones. What do you think the most rewarding part is for you when you go out and you do those talks?
I would say just that feeling of accomplishment. So when I volunteer, you know, I'm very proud to be a part of charity that works hard for the research support. We're striving to make society more inclusive. And I think because I've got that added personal experience, it makes me a little bit more invested in that. It's always nice receiving feedback at the end of talks. And I think for me, with the recent talk that I did with a care provider, because I could bring forward that care experience from my time working in the sector, it added a bit more value to the talk. And I think that came through in the feedback that I received at the end. And I think because I work in education, we rely quite heavily on feedback, and we want to develop and we want to do better. So I think the feedback is definitely key for me when doing those talks, and hearing the impact that that talk has had on those people that are present as well.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about the importance of feedback. So I suppose that's my next question then. So how have you used that feedback, and how has it benefited you personally and professionally then?
I think it's helped me a lot with public speaking, and I'm not going to say that I would suddenly stand up in front of 500 people and be doing that with a smile on my face, but it's helped me, and I think in turn that will help me at work just to be more comfortable and confident to speak up in different situations, and especially with unfamiliar groups, because being with Acacia for quite a long time, I'm very comfortable now in the people that I work with. But when you're faced with a different crowd, people that you've never seen before, it's very different. So it's definitely helped me see that it's okay to be nervous when you are doing a talk. It's fine, because most people do have some sort of nerves when standing up there. So it's just nice for me, and it's definitely helped me improve that element of my role, but also personally.
So really specific skills it's helped you with them, and that confidence is absolutely invaluable. So in terms of the wider volunteering and the opportunity to do that, because you can take that time out of work, what do you think the overall benefit of volunteering is to you?
For me, I would say benefits to health and well-being. So when I'm kind of at work, I'm very focused on what I'm doing at work, and I think solely about work. But it's nice to switch off. Working from home, it's hard to switch off, and I'm sure that you can relate as well. So when I have a protected hour or half an hour, however long it is, to do volunteering, helps me switch everything else off. And my mental health is definitely more improved when I've done volunteering, because I've forgot about everything else. I'm just focusing on the talk that I'm giving, and I just feel better within myself. So it's definitely proven that there's benefits to health and well-being. So it's not just the skill side. So in terms of mental health, I would say that is a massive benefit.
And you also mentioned earlier that you're part of the Acacia Culture Committee. So that's our colleagues, a number of our colleagues coming together to talk about culture. How do you think initiatives like this, and maybe some of the other initiatives that the Culture Committee has been involved in, how do you think that has an impact overall to Acacia's culture?
I think it helps us to be more visible. There's often work that goes on behind the scenes that perhaps not everyone wider company knows about. And I think when we're talking about the work that we're doing and we're sharing that, it helps others kind of get on board with that. Others want to be a part of that because they can see the benefits that it is rewarding. So I think it just helps us to be more inclusive as a company, just to kind of come together and just all help each other.
Yeah, and it's why it's also really important to us, and why we're having conversations like these, so we can share these things into the wider world. Because as you say, it's really hard when we're all working from home just to get that message internally. So to share that and have these conversations about the other things that people can get involved with and do is going to be much more beneficial as well. So one final question for you: what would you say to someone who was thinking about getting involved but isn't sure where to start?
I would say have a look initially in your local area, perhaps look online, but consider not just the opportunities that are out there, but think about any charities that you or whose work that you like. It might be that you've got kind of family or friends that already volunteer somewhere, or that you've got a personal, like for myself, a personal experience with the hearing loss. You may question whether you've got the time in your busy schedule, but for me, and I did do that before, I'd sit there and question, I work full time, I've got a child, do I have time to slot this in? But actually then having that paid volunteer day from Acacia, it made me take that step and realise that I do have that time, and whether it is just, like I said earlier on, just half an hour a week or even an hour a year, it's absolutely worth it.
Amazing, thank you. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm feeling truly inspired by that, and I'm thinking about how I can use my volunteer time moving forward. But as you can hear from everything Laura's talked about, volunteering isn't just about making a difference for others, it's about personal growth. Laura's talked about not only the skills, but also the mental health impact and wellbeing impact that's had on her. It goes to community connection, and it really comes back to really making a positive change to the world. At Acacia, we are proud to support our team in giving back, and we would encourage other organisations to do the same. We recognise that even the smallest of actions can make a huge impact. So if you're passionate about making a difference, really have a think about it, and go and ask the question, why not take the step and get involved yourself, and maybe your company can too.